Hi friends, Atunde here. How you doing? No, it's not a mirage. Doing some new things. Haven't talked to you in a while, so I wanted to jump on this morning and say, hey, girlfriend got her coffee as usual. Just been living my life. And what does that mean, Atunde? What have you been doing? You seem to pop in and out of my life a lot. Just to put it plainly. Well, part of me had been becoming, as one of my social media friends in my head, Imani Van Zamp, shout out, see her, go to her page, like her, follow her. I've been becoming, turning myself yet another page in my story. And this morning I just wanted to pop in and say, hey, how you doing? I'm good, okay? What I want this page to be was something that I thought about this morning. And in a world where things can be uncertain globally, societally, community-wise, right? We've been in and out of a whole bunch of stuff. And back again, if you keep watching the news. But in a world, in a space that is driven by information, that is driven by in the know, and in the minute, right? I needed some time to slow down and to be still and to be quiet. I do a word of the year every year. And this year's word is stillness. And I just been being still, which is a hard thing for me because I am, what I do, I attach meaning to movement. And movement simply for me is being productive. I'm washing the dishes. I'm going here. I'm reading. I'm doing something, right? Because for me, productivity was related to value and worth and worthiness. And this year, what I found out is that none of that matters. That in moments of stillness, of doing nothing, I am still enough. I am still worthy. And it's like, Atunda, you knew that, girl. But there's a difference between knowing something on the surface level and actually knowing it. And I know it. So what I've been doing is being still and becoming. So in those moments of stillness, I've gotten so much mental clarity after the anxiety. I won't neglect to say that because it is so hard sometimes just to sit and do nothing. I found that there were times when I wasn't doing anything, that my mind was running for me, was doing for me. And it had to become a mental practice for me to not only sit and to be still, but to be still in my heart and in my head. And that was the work. I felt guilty when I wasn't doing. And it allowed me to sit and really think about and interrogate the different types of relationships that I was in when I was doing and what I was doing. Because like I said, my doing was attached to value, worth, worthiness. I was figuring out that in some of my relationships, my doing was beneficial to the exchange of to the person that I was in the relationship with. And here, I preface this. In every relationship there is reciprocity. There is a doing, because doing or giving is an act of doing something, right? But what I also had to figure out, reciprocity out of balance and alignment is where one person is always giving or one person is always receiving. And for me, I had been out of balance in my giving and not happy with my giving because I was not being replenished, or the reciprocity was not being returned to me in equal value. So what I had to do is what I call going back to the contract. In every relationship, there's a contract. A non-verbal, sometimes verbal, sometimes written contract. Say, for instance, that's some good coffee right there. Your job. For me, in one of my jobs, I have a written contract. And what I had to recently do is go back to every relationship and look at the contract. So, like for my work, I was over committing in some areas where there was not enough reciprocity or consistency in reciprocity for me. And I had to decide, it's not their fault. It is not the other person's fault for taking what you're giving. You decide what to give and how much. Now, it can be a little tricky when you decide in measure how much you give, the other person gets a little upset. Drink some of my coffee on that and let that sit in. If someone gets upset because of the amount of giving has decreased or shifted, it helps you to reevaluate the relationship. But that's not their fault. It's not even your fault. It's a awareness that you need to decide if that works for you or not. And for me, it didn't work. So I had to go back to the boundaries of the contract and say, this is what equals time, because we exchange time for money. In this amount of time, these are the things that you will be paid for. I started to adjust to the contract and do in the time what I was being paid for. Now, two things happened. I was overwhelmed with guilt. Because I was accustomed to, going back to productivity and doing, and overcommitting in those relationships, even my work relationship. But I was also tired and overworked and underpaid. And payment for me sometimes is not always monetary. There are some things that you can't even pay me for. I'll let that sink in as well. Because for me, money had become, in a lot of relationships, the least you could do. The last thing, the base, the bottom. Because for me, things are intrinsic, not extrinsic. An intrinsic value for me is the ways in which we commune with one another. That's where I get my payment, my joy, I want to keep doing this. Exchanging time for money is a base. I want to do what I love. That way I'm never working for the money. And I could do it all day, right? That's the goal. But when I started being overworked, I was losing the joy of the work. So I decided, hey, the least you can do is pay me. The least you can do in some relationships is buy me dinner, or, whatever those things are that people will offer you in exchange for your re-engagement of commitment or overcommitting, right? You get to decide what the borders and boundaries of the contracts are. And what I had been doing is looking at every contract that I was in, whether willing or not, right? Being a willing participant or not. My work contract, my friend contracts, my self contract. And yes, I do have a contract with myself. My family contract. And what my contracts look like basically is, this is what I'll do, and this is what you'll do in exchange for whatever that exchange is, right? Because we get something out of every relationship. And we've talked about that in videos in the past. Every relationship is transactional. And transactional relationships are not bad. You just get to decide if it's worth the payment or the goods or the resources, right? And in my self-contract, the first line in my self-contract says that I will honor, respect, and celebrate myself. Always. Always. It's in the contract. It's first line. And what I have done in every contract is also say that in order for us to be in relationship, you must honor, respect, and celebrate me. People celebrating me looks like, good job, thank you, right? Respect, we know what that looks like. But honoring me is honoring the contract in at the base level. So say for me, I'm a simple kind of girl, but my love language is quality time, one of them. And for me, quality time is not always you sitting next to me, but it is communication and engagement. That's what quality time's essence is for me. So say we're in a conversation. If we are not talking to one another, right? Say we're texting. For me, I don't like texting. I'm a face girl. I'm an in-person girl. And then I'm a telephone type of person because there's levels to my communication. I need to read your face. I'm a visual learner and I'm an auditory learner. So for me, FaceTime in person is the top tier of communication. The second tier would be a telephone conversation. Third tier is a text message or any type of written message by phone or social media. Sometimes we get instant messages or, you know, the messages on direct messages or what have you. So say we're in a conversation through text or DM. My minimum of conversation is, say, I engage first. Hey friend, how you doing? Good morning, checking in. Just wanted to say hi. Hope you're well. That's one. What I require is an exchange of at least you sending me 2 text messages. That's simple, right? Because for me, that is important as communication is concerned. So I say, hey friend, how you doing? Hope you're well. You say, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. That's one. So then I'll say something back. Hi to kids. Hope your day's going well. Let's chat or let's figure out if we could get together. Blah, 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 blah. You responding is your 2. Now, some of y'all might be saying, that's simple. That's easy to do. It's not. We have lost our way somewhere in the ways in which we communicate. We're a communal society where, you know, we, before cell phones, we were together. We had to be together. That was our necessary, you know, bonding and feeling a sense of belonging. And in this new age of social media, you know, it's replaced our coming together, but we've lost the sense of belonging. So for me, with quality time being my love language, with my best friends, that's what we do. We prioritize getting together, seeing each other's faces, either quarterly or once a month. And we talk, text, weekly or bi-weekly. Because I'm not a friend that I need to be on the phone with you all the time. I got stuff to do, right? But that lets me feel connection, right? So what's in your contracts? Like I said, my friend contracts, I had to lose a friend or two. We're reevaluating my contracts. The relationships were not consistent. And I'm a type that I'll address it. I'll say, hey, I need this for our friendship, right? And if I don't get that, it's my fault because I have to see to my needs. I have to see to my happiness. I have to maintain my joy. And if those things are not doing that, I am going to be kind, but I'm going to go. That's where I am in this phase. Be kind. Celebrate those people because I'm happy for them because they're busy too. They're accomplishing great things and I get to celebrate those things from afar. But this season has shifted. And what I need, I have to tend to. No one else. And what I had to do with all of my close friends, because you also have to decide based upon the contract where these relationships fall. I don't require those types and levels of commitment from colleagues. We work together, you know? Shift and adjust your thinking because everybody that you work with is not your friend. But my friends, I had to establish and then set boundaries and then speak those things, right? Like I said, lost some friends doing that, which is okay because our seasons were up. But also some of the greatest things happened. Some of my friends engage more. Yes, I want that too. I want to live this life with you. One of my friends said that and she just had me shook up, because I wasn't the only one just surviving in this life. And in this chapter, because we've turned page, I want to thrive. I want to travel. I'm starting to write my other books. My other book will be out in December. We'll talk more about that soon, because I don't have that much time. Got things to do, child. But I want to be the author that I see in my spirit. I want to sit on the beach under the umbrella with the beach at my feet and the ocean in my view. I'm not rock climbing, but I want to see some mountains, right? I want to go to a waterfall, walk through a botanical garden space. I want to do that work and see what it does for my spirit and my soul, and then write that, right? I've been more creative in my home, with my family, just doing the life that I envision for myself. So what type of life do you envision for you? In order for you to get that life, in my experience, is that you gotta be still. Stop doing so much and just be. You gotta go back to all the contracts. See what's in the borders of the contract and do that. And if you want to do more, here's the thing. Every contract is either verbally spoken, written. There has to be, yes, I want to be in relationship with you, right? Family don't always do that, but there's a contract there, right? I do this, you do that, right? There has to be an established role, responsibility for each person in the contract. Then there has to be a mutual exchange, reciprocity, on a consistent basis, whatever that consistent basis is. Daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, seasonally. It has to be in the contract, right? But if someone is not doing what's in the contract, or there's an imbalance, misalignment, someone's overcommitting, someone's getting more than they're giving, you get to modify the contract. Hey, we need to have a meeting of the minds. We need to adjust our contract. Is this not working out in the way that we've written it? Modifications sometimes are necessary in every relationship. Some married folks, there needs to be some modifications. It's not that you all are not working out or whatever the deal is. You just need to modify your contract, your love contract. Hey, baby, we need to go out every Tuesday and Friday. Sundays are my day with you, right? I do this, you do that. Just a little modification. Just throw that in there. But if it doesn't work out after the modifications, the meeting of the minds, you also get to terminate the contract. So, just a little bit today. As I said before, we'll engage when I got something to say. And I had something to say this morning. I hope that you are well. I am. Been thinking through some stuff. What I won't do is call it trauma. I'll call it having a deeper awareness for myself, for my past, for my life, for my family. And sometimes A deeper awareness is not always butterflies and roses. My deeper awareness had been sadness, had been anger, had been frustration. But in my stillness, I was able to decide what you're going to do with all of that, right? And what I did, because I have great relationships, was talk to the people that I'm in community with and actually step back and not overcommit. Because for me, I had a commitment and part of me was like, just go, push through it. You could do it. And I had to look at my self-contract. For me to push through it, I would not have been honoring me. I would not have been honoring how I was feeling in the moment. All I wanted to do was sit on this here sofa, have some snacks and some Netflix, and work through what was happening. I said that to my people. And a beautiful thing happened. Do you need anything? You need some snacks? I love you. We'll talk soon. And then honoring myself, I was also able to honor our relationship. To my friend, I sent her a text message. I said, hey, I know we were supposed to check in today, but I have no words. I was just checking in to let you know what was happening. And we can talk sometime next week. And she jumped right in. Hey, I was going to call you yesterday. This is what happened with me. Can we talk, say, and we arranged another time. Honoring myself allowed me to honor those other relationships. So, how are you honoring yourself today? I'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments. Or, if you have no words, put 3 heart emojis. Because I love you. Friends, we'll talk soon. I promise. I've been having more to say. And the courage to say it. We'll talk about that too. But for today, this is a Tune Day. And this has been my story. Have a great day, friends.